All right, guys, we are going to be doing both math and science right now during our math block because yesterday's math lesson, we're just going to be reviewing it. And then we're going to do our digital quick check together. And then since we've already done the reteaching and practice yesterday, if you weren't here yesterday, then you can watch yesterday's video to do that. And then we're just going to be reviewing for your science and then taking your science quiz. So we will not be meeting after lunch. However, you still have work to get completed. So after lunch at 12 o'clock, all students need to be working on read theory. Some of you guys are still not working on that. You need to be doing 10 minutes of that every day. You get a screen break. And then at 12:45, during that block, you guys need to make sure that any incomplete work is completed. There's about 7 of you in class who have not finished their writing test. You need to turn in your writing test. And then there's, I believe, 1 person who hasn't done their comprehension test. So please make sure you do those. And then at 1:45, students need to turn in their art, health, or social emotional learning activity. And then you're going to read any book you'd like for 20 minutes. I know some of you guys are having problems with your cameras. If it continues, then you can just for now type what you did in Class Dojo and submit it as like a journal entry instead. All right. So we are going to be reviewing 9-1 again. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be rewatching that short little video with you guys first. And then after we go over the video, then we're going to go straight into our digital quick check and we're going to work on that all together. Okay. So for Savvis Realize, remember, you are going to go to Google Classroom, click on the waffle, click on Savvis Realize, or sorry, Savvis Easy Bridge. Then you're going to click on the frog, and that's how you'll find our things. Okay, let's rewatch this video and then we're going to work on our digital quick check.
Find 34 minus 6. Show 34. How many tens are in 34? Let's count. 1, 2, 3 tens. There are 3 tens. How many ones are in 34? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4 ones. There are 4 ones. There are not enough ones to subtract 6. Do you need to regroup to subtract 6 ones? Yes, you need to regroup. How do you know? You cannot subtract 6 ones from 4 ones. Look at the place value mat. Regroup 1 10 as 10 ones. How do you regroup? Take 1 10 and regroup it as 10 ones. How many ones are there after you regroup the 10? There are 14 ones. Subtract 6. Let's take them away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many tens are left? How many ones are left? Now there are 2 tens and 8 ones. What is the difference? 34 minus 6 equals 28. Now you know how to regroup 110 for 10 ones to subtract.
All
Bless
right.
you.
Thank you. Because we did the reteaching and the practice yesterday, we are just going to work on our digital quick check and we're going to work on this together. So please don't move, even if you know the answers, please don't move on so quickly because I want you guys to go over each of the steps with me so that you guys know all the skills and strategies. All right. I'm going to give you guys a week to do that. All right, so go ahead and open up your digital quick check and we're gonna work on this together.
I need help, Miss Park.
All right, click on home page. Who is it that said that they need help?
Alina.
All right, Alina, I'm on your screen right now. You're gonna click on home page.
Home page. So go on the home page.
Or home. And then it's gonna pop up right there. And then there it is, 9-1 digital quick check. Go ahead and click on that. And then do not move quickly, guys. I want you guys to do this with me. We're gonna do it together. All right, now you're gonna click on that blue box with the little dots. And then click start. All right, guys, let's go ahead and work on this together. So question number 1.
Use cubes and a work mat to help. Subtract.
Okay, we are subtracting 74 minus 7. So everybody, if you have a piece of paper or a whiteboard, can you guys get that out? Because I want you guys to do this work with me. So I'm going to give everyone a second. Can you guys get out a piece of paper or a whiteboard? If you're going to use a piece of paper, I want you to put a P in the chat. If you're going to use a whiteboard, I want you to put a W in the chat. Awesome. Oops. Nice. Some of you guys are using paper. Some of you guys are using whiteboards. Everybody needs something. You can use a Post-it. You can use a notebook. You could use a journal. You could use the back of a piece of paper that your parents don't need anymore. Could be a scratch piece of paper. All right, let's get it started, okay? So now that you have your piece of paper, we're gonna answer these 5 questions, okay? So 74, you guys can unmute. How many 10s are in the number 74?
7.
Very good. 7 10. So everybody draw 7 10s. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I drew 7 10s. Now, how many 1s are in the number 74?
4.
Very good. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we need to subtract 7. But do we have enough 1s to subtract 7? No. So what do we need to do? What is the word? Someone unmute. What do we need to do? Starts with an R. Very good. Thank you for unmuting. So remember, let's circle this bottom number. When there's too many, we need to subtract. So we need to subtract 7, but there's not enough. What is our poem? More on the floor, go next door and get 10 more. So for those of you who were in class yesterday, we learned this poem. When we subtract, you pick the bigger number and you circle it. And if it's on the floor, if it's on the bottom, so you see how 7 is on the bottom of 4, you're going to say more on the floor, go next door. So that's the 7s, that's here, and get 10 more. So we need to get 10 from one of these people. So we're going to go over and be like, hey, tens, we don't have enough to go to this other party. To go to the party, we have to have seven of ones, but there's only 4 of us. So can you guys come and help us? So then the 10s go, okay, fine. Who's going to go? And this person goes, okay, I'll go. So this person tries to go to the ones, but they can't because they're too big. In order to fit through the door, they need to break apart and become ones. So how many ones do they become? They become 10 ones. So I'm going to add 10 more to this 4. So what is 10 plus 4, guys? What is 10 plus what?
14.
Very good. 10 plus 4 equals 14. So we took away one from the 10. So how many 10s are left over at this party? How many more do we have left? There was 7. We took away 1. So how many are left?
6.
6. Very good. And we gave 10 to the ones. There was 4. We added 10 more. So how many ones do we have now?
67.
14. 14. We added 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Add 10. 4 plus 10 equals 14. Okay, write this down in your notebook, your journal, your piece of paper, your scratch paper, your whiteboard, wherever you're doing it on. Now we can subtract. Now that we have 14, 7 of them can go to a different party. Ready? Let's cross them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we just took away 7. Now we need to find out how many more we have. How many ones do we have left over? We have 4 blue and 3 red ones. So how many is that total?
7.
7. And then we don't have to subtract any 10s. So we just drop down the 6. So what is our total answer? What is 74 minus 7, guys?
67.
Very good. Write that down on your whiteboards or your piece of paper so you can see all of your work being done. And then let's move on. Good job, guys. That was really good. Okay, question number 2. Ready?
Use cubes and a work mat to help. Subtract.
So we have the number 89 minus 2. Okay, how many 10s do we have in the number 89, guys?
8.
8. So we're going to draw 8 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many ones do we have in the number 89?
9.
9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, 2 of the ones want to go to another party. We're doing 89 minus 2. Do we have enough ones to take 2 to the next party? Are there enough ones to subtract 2? Yes. So do you need to regroup? Do we need to borrow a 10?
No.
Very good. No. Let's go ahead and circle. What is bigger, 9 or 2?
9.
9 is bigger. So does anyone remember our poem from yesterday? More on top. No need to stop. So everybody, let's say that. More on top. No need to stop. You do not need to regroup. No need to regroup because you can do that. What is 9 minus 2, boys and girls? How many do we have left over? 7. There are 7 ones. Okay, Nathan, please do not annotate my screen. Thank you. And then how many, did we take away any from our tens? No. So how many tens do we still have?
87.
8. So our total is 87.
7.
Go ahead and finish writing that in your journal, your notebook, your piece of paper, your scratch paper, or your whiteboard. And then once you're done, you're going to click on the answer B in your digital quick check, and then we're going to move on. Okie dokies. Ready? Moving on. Question number 3.
Use cubes and a work mat to help. Subtract.
All right, we are subtracting 53 minus 8. Go ahead and write down the number. It helps me to visualize the number sentence while we work on the mat, because eventually you're not going to have the mat to work on. So how many tens are in the number 53?
5.
Very good, guys. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw that in your journal, notebook, piece of paper, scratch paper, or whiteboard. And then how many ones do we have in the number 53?
3.
3. 1, 2, 3. Now, 8 ones want to go to another party. But uh-oh, do we have enough ones to take away 8?
No.
Imagine if you had $3 and you want to buy a new Pop-It. Oh, I have good news, guys. So there was like a little sale going on. So I just put the rest of the money in. And so you guys are going to be getting your Pop-Its and your squishies. Yay! So hopefully that'll be delivered before winter break so that I can do a drop off with you guys. And then also we do have a picture day coming up if you guys want. I'm going to find out some more information about it. I believe it's December 8th, but I'll send out information about it for your parents. Maybe what we can do is we can have your picture day the same day as your pickup. No, actually, that might not work.
I have a Pop-It shark.
Cool. So we'll see how that works. But anyways, so imagine if you had $3 and you want to buy a Pop-It for $8, you don't have enough money. So what are you going to need to do? You're going to need to borrow. Hey, mom and dad, I only have $3, but I really want to get this Pop-It. Can I borrow $10 and I'll pay you back one day? But like, can I borrow the $10, please? Okay, fine. So they say fine. So we know we need $8. We don't have that. So what are we going to do? What's our poem? More on the floor. Go next door and get, because we're going to take away from them, 10 more. So the 3 becomes 13. So how does that work in our picture? Okay, fine. I will give you $10. I'm going to let you borrow that. I'm going to let you regroup it. So that 10, it doesn't fit through the doors. We can't just put the 10 like that. We have to make it into ones. So we're going to add 10 ones. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so how many 10s do we have left over now? We have 4 10s left over, and we're not subtracting any more 10s, so we know that the 10s place is gonna have a 4. Now, what is 10 plus 3? We just added 10 more to 3. What's 10 plus 3? How many ones do we have all together, guys? Unmute.
13.
13. Now, we need $8 to buy that Pop-It. So we need to delete 8. Ready? Let's subtract 8. Ready, guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, I just got rid of $8. So how much dollars do I have left? Oops. How many dollars do I have left in the ones place?
5.
5. So how much? So if we had $53 and we got rid of $8, how much money do we have left?
45.
45. Very good. Finish writing that down, and then we're going to move on. We have 2 more questions to go, and then we're going to move on to science. Make sure you guys are both, I know that there's probably a lot of clicking you're doing. Make sure you're writing this down in your journal, your notebook, your piece of paper, your scratch paper, or your whiteboard. And then make sure you're also clicking on the right answer in your digital quick check. Okay, ready? Let's move on. Okay.
Use cubes and a work mat to help. Subtract.
All right. Next one we've got is 40 minus 3. Write the number sentence first. All right. How many 10s do you have in the number 40?
4.
Very good. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then how many ones do you have in the number 40?
0.
0 ones. Okay. Now we've got 0 ones, and you need $3 to buy a new squishy. But we don't have $3. So we need to go to the adults. Hey, mom and dad. So I don't have enough ones to buy my new squishy for that I really want, and it's an Among Us one, and it's rainbow and unicorns. So can I borrow $10, please? Okay, fine, sounds good. So we go ahead and we're gonna take away one of these, and then it's gonna become a 1. How many ones are we adding? How many ones am I going to draw?
10.
10. Very good. And there was 0 ones before. So now we have 10. So more on the floor. 3 is bigger than 0. 3 is bigger than 0. So we need to circle the bottom number, which is on the floor. More on the floor. Go next door. We borrow it, so they only have 3 10s left. There's only 3 of them left. And get 10 more. And 0 becomes a 10 because we just added 10. Now, this should be fairly easy. We're going to subtract 3. 10 minus 3 equals what? How many do we have left?
7.
7. And then we don't have to subtract 3 by anything. So you just drop down to 3 because 3 minus nothing equals 3. What is your final answer?
37.
37. Very good, guys. I'll give you guys a sec to finish that. And then we have one more question, and then we get to move on to science. One more question, and then we're going to move on to science. All right. Ready. Last question.
Use cubes and a work mat to help. Subtract.
67 minus 4. How many tens do we have in the number 67?
6.
6. Good job. 3, 4, 5, 6. And then how many ones do we have in the number 67?
7.
7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. We have 7 ones. You need $3 to buy this new Pop-It. Do you have enough money? You have $7. You only need $3 to buy this new Pop-It you really want. Do you have enough money?
Yes.
Yes. So do you need to regroup? Do you need to borrow from the tens?
No.
No. So let's look at what I mean by that. Which one is bigger, 7 or 4?
7.
7. More on top. No need to stop. You do not need to regroup. More on top. No need to stop to regroup. So I'm going to take out 3. What is 7 minus 4, boys? And I'm sorry, 7 minus, we're going to take away 4. What is 7 minus 4?
3.
3. And then we didn't take away any from the tens place. So we still have how many left?
60.
6. So what is our final answer?
63.
Very good, guys. Now we have finished all 5 questions. You are now going to click next. And then you are going to submit your test. If you did not finish or if you need to review, I did record this lesson so you can watch it again. But go ahead and you are now going to submit your test. So 67 minus 4 equals 63, C. Click on C and then click next. And then now what we're gonna do is we're gonna move on to science, guys.
Miss Park,
Yes.
it's not showing on my score.
Click submit test. Is that Sierra?
Yes, and I already did, but it says score summary and
Okay, it might be because we were taking kind of a long time on it. Click exit and then try again.
okay.
Okay, good job, everyone. Let's see. All right, now that we're done with math, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna move on to science. So I'm gonna go ahead and read yesterday's pages to you guys first. Then we're going to review the test and then you guys are going to take the test. All right, so go ahead and click it again, Sierra, and then try it again.
I need Miss Park.
Sorry? Okay, I'm just gonna go over the lesson yet from yesterday first, and then we're gonna, I'll go over so don't take your quiz right now, please. Do not take your science quiz right now. All right. There's gonna be 3 questions on your test today, okay? So let's review and reread from yesterday.
I need help, Miss Park.
Okay, I'm gonna help you guys after. Let me go over the science and then I'll help all students who need help afterwards, okay? Weathering. You saw water and pebbles break down chalk into smaller pieces yesterday. The breaking down of rocks into smaller pieces is called weathering. Let's go ahead and do some hand motions for that. Ready? So the breaking down, everyone pretend like you're breaking something down. The breaking down of rocks into smaller pieces is called weathering. Ready again? The breaking down. If you can't see my screen, let me spotlight myself. Okay, ready? The breaking down of rocks into smaller pieces is called weathering. One more time. The breaking down of rocks into smaller pieces is called weathering. Okay. Water and wind can break down rocks into small rocks. Small rocks can break down into sand or soil. Over time, weathering changes the shape and size of rocks. Tiny grains of sand can cause big changes in a desert. Winds blow sand against tall rocks. The sand cuts the rocks like a knife. The shape of the rocks change slowly over time. So how do you think this rock changed? Slowly, through the wind blowing the sand and blowing little pieces of sand away. How did weathering change this rock? The strong wind broke off bits of the rock over time. Think about the changing rocks activity. How did the activity show weathering? The water and pebbles broke the chalk down into smaller pieces. And you have read that blowing sand can change the shape of a rock. Explain why you can't see this kind of change. Because it's a slow change over time. It takes many years for the blowing sand to change the shape of a rock. Okay, the next one we're going to review is erosion. So remember, the breaking down of rocks into smaller pieces is called weathering. Now we're going to be learning about erosion. What happened to your sand mountain when you blew on it? Erosion. Erosion happens when wind or water carries rocks and soil to a new place. So everyone, what we're going to do is we're going to use this pushing away as erosion. So everyone go ahead and do that. Pretend like you're pushing something away. Erosion happens when, and then we'll do like this for wind. Okay. So erosion happens when wind or water, we'll do this for water, carries rocks and soil to a new place. And we'll just go like this as we're carries rocks and soil to a new place. One more time. Erosion happens. So that's moving. We're moving stuff. Erosion happens when wind or water carries rocks and soil to a new place. One more time. Ready? Erosion happens when wind or water carries rocks and soil to a new place. Sometimes you can see erosion taking place. Moving brown water tells you erosion is happening. The water is brown because it is carrying soil. Erosion can make it hard for plants to grow. Frozen water can also cause erosion. A glacier is a large sheet of ice that moves slowly across the land. A glacier moves when a bit of the ice melts. A glacier picks up and breaks apart pieces of rock as it moves across the land. This kind of erosion happens over many years. Here, a fast-flowing river can also cause erosion. The river carries away bits of rocks over time. Look at the photo of the river above, and how is this erosion different from the soil erosion shown on the previous photo on the before page? It took many years for the river to carry away bits of the land on each side. The erosion on the field in the previous photo, all that soil being the brown water, is the soil being carried away quickly. All right, let's go ahead and quickly rewatch this video on how Earth changes slowly, and then we're going to take our quiz.
This boy's hair is about to become shorter. That is a quick change. Changes happen to Earth too. Some of those changes are quick, and some are very slow. What can cause a slow change to Earth? Wind and water can cause slow changes when part of Earth is exposed to water or wind for a long time. What do you think of when you hear a long time? We usually talk about time using seconds, minutes, hours, days, months, and years. But when talking about Earth, we often hear millions of years to describe time. Let's break that down. Each of your birthdays is 12 months, or 1 year apart. 1,000,000 years is 1,000 birthdays times 1,000 birthdays. Some slow changes take millions of years. Let's look at how this happens. Wind and water change Earth through weathering and erosion. Weathering is when wind or water reshape Earth by breaking apart rocks.
So remember, weathering is breaking down rocks into smaller pieces, and that's called weathering. So like that rock, it was broken down into like a smaller piece, and little pieces of it have fallen away.
Erosion happens when small bits of rock or soil are moved from one place to another.
So erosion happens when wind or water carries rocks and soil to a new place.
Professional geologists are able to tell which landforms are formed by wind and which are created by water because they often have very different shapes. How does water weather rock? Flowing water carries sand and pebbles. The sand and pebbles hit the rock and cause it to break. Water also carries away pieces of broken rock. Do you remember what this process is called? Erosion. The water weathering process can break off tiny pieces of rock until the rocks look smooth, like this. Wind can also weather rock. This happens when wind carries grains of sand or other material. The rough sand removes tiny bits of rock. This wind weathering process can create landforms such as these. Sand dunes are an example of erosion caused by wind. These sand dunes in Death Valley National Park began forming over 12,000 years ago. Wind carried sand from one place and deposited it in another place, creating these waves of sand. At least 5 million years ago, weathering and erosion by water began carving out the Grand Canyon. Sand and pebbles carried by water broke off tiny pieces of rock. Erosion occurred when those broken rocks flowed down the river. This canyon was made by sand, pebbles, water, and lots of time. The water of the Colorado River continues to carry away little bits of rock today, but this change is so slow that it would take many years to see a change. Waterfalls are also created by water, weathering, and erosion. This is water flowing over the edge of a rock cliff at Niagara Falls. The flowing water falls over 170 feet into the plunge pool below the cliff. But these falls were not always so tall. Over 12,000 years ago, the river began weathering and eroding the rock. An area of softer rock eroded faster than the harder rock, creating a step. The step became taller. The force of falling water hitting rock continued to weather the rock at the bottom of the falls, and a pool formed. Over 12,000 years, the water weathered and eroded the rock to create Niagara Falls. Let's look at more examples of weathering and erosion. This is an example of wind eroding sandstone. Notice the smooth surface? When wind reshapes rock, it creates a smooth surface. The long steps and grooves in this sandstone were also created slowly by wind weathering. What do you think caused this formation?
What do you think?
What about this one?
What do you think?
Here's a few more weathering and erosion examples. Can you tell if it was wind or water that created them?
This one was water. Okay, what about this one? The arch. Wind. What about this one? Water and wind. And then what about this one? Wind. All right. right, guys, let's go ahead and review for our quiz now, okay? So here's your quiz that you guys are going to take. It's gonna have 3 questions. Okay, what is a slow change to Earth's surface?
Miss Park, I need help getting on the page that you guys are on.
I know, I'm gonna go on it first and then I'm gonna show you, okay? So what is a slow change to Earth's surface? Can anyone unmute and tell me? Which of them would make a slow change? A flood, an earthquake, or weathering? Which one would make a slow change?
Weathering.
Very good, weathering. A flood, it would be a fast change. If your house was flooded, right away, quickly, there would be water everywhere. An earthquake is fast. It happens quickly. Weathering is the breaking down of rocks into smaller pieces, and it happens over time. That's a slow change. Like the chalk, if you kept shaking it, it would take a really long time. Okay, glaciers change Earth quickly or slowly? Glaciers, do they change quickly or slowly? That was in what we read.
Slowly.
Very good, slowly. Glaciers change the Earth slowly. It's a very slow process. Okay, blank can cause slow changes to Earth's landscape.
Wind and water.
Water, sand, ice, or all of the above. It is wind and water, but we can't but it won't let us click both. So what do you guys think the answer is?
All the answers above.
All of the above. Sand and ice can also cause slow changes to the Earth's landscape. The ice is like the glaciers. That's a slow change. The sand, if the sand keeps moving slowly, then that area, like sand dunes, are going to change slowly over time. So the best answer is all of the above. All right, guys. Once you click view score details on your kite, you're going to see your percentage. You'll see which answers you got right or wrong. And then that is the end of our Zoom time. You guys still have work you need to get completed. You will still need to work on any missing assignments. Some of you guys have many missing assignments. You need to check to make sure that your assignments have been completed.
Miss Park, I got 100%.
Very good.
Me too.
All right, for those of you guys who need help getting there. Okay, so you're on Savvis Easy Bridge. You need to go to Google, click on the waffle. Click on the waffle. If you are done, you're gonna put done in the chat. Make sure you get your missing work done. Some of you guys have writing assessments that need to be completed. I'll tell you guys who it is in a second.
That's the 7.
Okay, let me check. Okay, hold up. There's quite a few of you guys who have missing work. Okay, scroll down and then click on McGraw-Hill Education. Please don't leave yet, guys. Scroll all the way down to McGraw-Hill Education. Don't leave yet because I need to tell those of you guys who have missing writing. And I know that there's a lot of you guys who didn't do it. And then up at the top, it should say OISP. If it doesn't, we need to change that. Okay, it does. All right. So because it says at the top OISP, you're just going to click on Inspire Science. And then right here in the to do, it's going to tell you your test. Because you are new, Alina, you don't need to take those ones. So scroll down. Scroll down. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording.